Hi, I'm Miss Ike, and I really need to tell you this story. Growing up as a child, we would always have devotions with my family, especially on Saturdays. Then we would use Day Spring from on High. That was a devotion that my church at the time would make for members and other people to use. When we grew up, we went to universities. I remember that I was the one that introduced um, our daily manna to my family. Whoever introduced it, we changed and we started to use our daily manna for devotions. Now, there's a particular way that the devotional was written. It had a story style for every day's reading and unit. The the writer would use a story to buttress whatever point it was that he wanted to share. It made all of us, and including myself, it made us, remember everything we read in the morning because these things were stories, right? Now, one of the stories that I read, I still remember some of them, and one of them I will share with you. In this story, there was this young man who was working in a house as a gardener. Every year he would go to a different phone booth to call his boss, asking if he had an opening, for a job in his house. He would start with, "Hello, sir. Good morning. I'm calling to know if you have an opening in your house for gardening. I'm a very good gardener. I can do this. I can do that." And the boss would say, "Oh, I'm sorry. We don't have an opening for that. I already have a gardener and he's doing an awesome job." Now, this guy would do it every year, and this particular year he called again, and surprisingly, the boss said, "I think we just have an opening. I'm not very comfortable with the way that the gardener I have is working. I think that I would like him to do this, that. If you can do that, maybe you should come for an interview." And they agreed on a particular day to come for the interview. This gardener started to do all the things that his boss complained about over the phone call with this other gardener. And in a few weeks, he put a call across again and asked, "Oh, sorry, sir. I'm sorry I couldn't show up as we had planned. I want to know if I can come now." And the boss said, "Oh, no, you don't have to come again. I think my gardener has now started to do this, and he's even doing more. So thank you very much. Just let me have your phone number so that I will call you if I would, need you to come." Now, I'm sharing the story for the same reasons this pastor was sharing the story. It's about how we are willing and open to receive feedback. You see, rather than shrink, get angry when people give you feedback that you think isn't interesting, I think we should rather be open and ready to learn and change and get better. For me, that's how I see feedback. Especially people who do business. It amazes me how business people would get feedback from their customers and they would be unhappy about it. We all should be open to receiving feedback. Now, every time I love to get feedback from people that I teach and especially my students. So I would ask my students for feedback, and sometimes it's a bit coated in trying to please me. But you see, the feedback that I get at the end of the year when the children are moving to a new class, I feel it's more real and truthful, and sorry, I think the word is honest, because at this time they're moving to a new class anyway, and it comes to them as they're doing you a favor, and that's what it is. It comes to them like they are advising their teacher on what to do better or what to continue to do. And so I would always throw these things to my students because I have a lot of things that I do over and over every year. Sometimes I try to make it better. I want to see what the children think about all these things. And surprisingly, they would be very truthful at the end of the year, more truthful at the end of the year. Now, I'll share with you some of the feedback in the next video that my students shared with me today. You see, today was the last day of the term, and I was so excited to read the feedback that these students had for me. I mean, I know that I'm a good teacher. Yay! I know that I'm like one of the best teachers you have in the world. That teacher you cannot forget, I know. But it's even, yay, the light is back. it's even sweeter to hear these children tell me that you're doing great, you're doing this well and that well. And I was really excited to hear the things that I would continue to do in the next school year with my new students, and I'm willing to share them with you because I want you to be open to receiving feedback, honest feedback from children, from people, from your customers, from friends. Honest feedback. If you have to go the extra mile, like this young man would, to get honest feedback, please go, because I find that when you come straight up to friends and ask for feedback, they kind of try to coat it up. But if you're doing it like, this other guy would go from behind and call, people might be honest. If you're a teacher and you're asking children for feedback at the end of the academic year when they really do not need you, they really do not need to be in your good books anymore, they can be really honest with you. I will say all these things I keep saying because I love you.